Okay, I'm going to show you out here how to put him in this crate. Walk him up to the crate, say sit. We open the door. Go in your crate. He's never gone into a crate out here in the yard before. This is his crate that he readily goes into if we're in the house. Good. See how he goes in, he turns around, he gets a treat. Actually, I'm just giving him a treat here because if we do a video out here, we've never practiced putting the dog in the crate out here. We move the crate from in the house out here just because it's so easy to film here. But if they've never done it here, the reason he was a little bit hesitant was in his mind, I don't go in the crate out here. I've never done that before. So this is probably the worst that you'll ever see it, because at your house, the crate will be inside, he'll probably go right in. And this is the type of dog that loves his crate. You can't get him out of his crate sometimes. So this crate is old, and we have a way of continuing to use it even when the little latches break. But this has been his crate here. You're gonna have a new crate that works much better. But that's how you put him in, and then when you take him out, it's a little treat. Reach in, hook him up to his leash. We always make him wait before he comes out, so I'm doing just kind of like closing it so he doesn't burst out. He's already got the leash attached to him, and I'm going to say, okay, and allow him to come out. Your crate's going to be on the floor, so you're always going to close it, because the power of the crate is that you control his access in and you control his access out. So you saw, okay, you saw me say sit, and then you saw me say go. He goes in, I'll help him a little bit. There you go. Right in there, I'll give you a little treat. Okay, he goes in there, it's a little treat. What could be easier than that? And you see what to do if by chance you ever have any issue, especially at first with him going in there. You just help him in. He goes in there, turns around, give him a treat, close the door. And then when you take him out, come back, let's say he's been in there for half an hour or so, open the door, treat. You always want him to love to see your hands coming. And if your hands are always bearing a gift when you come in, he's not going to be hiding in the back trying to get away from your hand, trying to grab his collar. So he's hooked up to the leash, the door's open, I say, okay, and he comes out. And that's the routine. And here, he does that routine probably 6 times a day, at least, in and out, half an hour out here, whatever. You have a different situation, so you're gonna be taking him for walks because you don't have a big yard like this. But that's okay. I would say, multiple walks, as many as you can do, even if they're really super short, where he just goes out for 5 minutes, pees, and you take him back in. It's better to do shorter, more walks, but shorter, so he can go to the bathroom than just like 3 long walks. But you'll see over time what is best for him, what works for you and him together. So the crate is developed as his den. You always have a place where he can go and he can feel safe. The crate should be in the back room behind a door. If you put a crate in the main living area and you have people coming in and out, you have visitors, you can easily make a dog be afraid of people, because it's a very restrictive place. It's a very probably an insecure feeling for him to be in his crate with the door closed, and you have people walking around and all this commotion in the main area. So you want to always put the crate in the back room behind a closed door, so that's his cool off place where it's calm and he can just relax, chew on his bone, eat his food. Always feed him in the crate because it's his den, right? So you're going to do everything in there that makes him love it even more and can't wait to makes him not be able to wait to go in there. He gets his meals in there, he gets his bones and chewies in there. You're really squandering your greatest power of making him love his crate even more if you're giving him treats and letting them lie around on the rug in the living room or something. So give him all the things that he loves the most to chew on in his crate, as well as always feed him in his crate. The door's always closed because you control his access in and out. That's the whole point of doing this crate routine, is that you are controlling with a sit stay his access in to his favorite place in the world, where he sleeps and where he eats his meals. And when you open that door, you saw he waits until I say okay to come out. So it's a tool for training that's simple, like anybody could do this. It's really easy, and it just adds another stabilizing little thing you do throughout the day with him. And if it seems like you're controlling his life to the little details like that, that's the kind of thing that makes a dog more confident, because he needs to know that you're calling the shots, that he's safe with you because you're telling him what to do. And it's real simple. They're simple things you're telling him, but it makes all the difference in the world. And it's how we got him more and more confident over time, as you can see in this video, using the crate in that way. We're doing the little mat exercise here. Okay, walk him up to the mat, say, let him take a little, there's a little crumb on the ground. So walk him up to the mat, say sit, and notice how there was a little bit of pressure. Sometimes you have to just pull up a little bit while you say the command. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be saying it over and over again and then finally force him down. First of all, you'll notice I'm never repeating the command, and if he didn't do it, okay, I'm going to do this again. So I released him to get up. We're just doing this little circle. Watch what I'm doing. Sit. And then as soon as his butt hits the ground, you release that little bit of pressure. But I'm doing it at the same moment I'm saying the command. That's why over time, you won't have to do the pressure anymore. But he was really scared when we started doing this training, and he was scared of me for a while because I was the one that was making him do things that were difficult, like teaching him a sit stay and a down stay and all that. That's why no. And if he pops up before you release him because you're talking too much, you just say no and put him back gently but firmly. So it took longer for him to be comfortable with me than anybody else, because everybody else was just petting him, giving him treats. But I was the one that was doing things with him that were uncomfortable, and he wanted to get away from me for a long time, so I had to take it really slow. Go. Down. Then you see what I have now, because I took it slow. I was never rough with him. If he seemed too afraid, good. Too afraid to do something successfully, I'd back off. I'd come back a week later, he'd do it a little bit better. I'd practice more things that he was good at, then I'd come back and try the other thing that he was not doing well at. And it took such a long time for him to get any kind of little stay, because he was so jumpy, and any noise, good. Any noise could make him pop up, even a bug, a fly, or something, which we have a lot today because it's really hot today. And we're right down the street from a stable, so that's why we have flies, horse flies. It took a long time for me to just be able to step back to the end of the leash and him stay there. And you see how I'm rewarding him? I step forward. This is really important. You see how I'm, nope. He's not allowed to touch your hand, no. Make sure that, no. Make sure he waits. Nope. Nope. Good. You see how I did that? Do it exactly like this. And I'm not approaching him going like this, because you'll tempt a dog to try to jump up to get it. You're almost teasing him. So when you come to reward him, you swing in on his level, nope, and you pull back and say no if he tries to touch your hand. Good. See, he's very skittish. You say no a few times and he tries to run away, but he's much better than he was. Now with that downstay, now I can walk to the side, and I can walk to either side. Good. And then I'll show you how we're working on a complete circle, which is really hard for him to do. Good. So the way we're doing that is, in some of these circumstances, if you desensitize with food, it works really well. So I got a big pile of the rewards here. Good. And then while he's munching out on that, it enables him to stay calm enough to stay there and be able to handle me walking behind him. So I won't do it now, and let's see if he has the downstay yet. See how he can't handle that? So you say no, and gently but firmly put him back. I want him on the mat. So this little circle that I do, it's not a circle, it's actually I'm walking in a circle, but I'm not circling him. my body is stepping into him and he's going with me. So make sure you're not circling him. You have the video as reference to see exactly how I do it. You say no, you reset. It's a reset with your body and put him back. And you saw he kind of just like reset himself, because obviously we've done that move a lot. Then he makes a mistake. Nope. Good. Now, because I'm desensitizing with the food, he can handle me walking around him. So that's where we're at now, and I think you'll have to do it for a little while before he can handle you walking around him, a complete walk around downstay without this little desensitization technique here with right now. Good. Right now all we're using is these they're just little lamb treats that we cut from a roll. It's just a basic dog treat, and Ingrid can tell you what that is. There's so many things that are good, that are healthy, that you can use for this. But the whole point of this is that very quickly, once he doesn't get up, you can walk around, you can walk away, and you can do this in your living room in your house as well. We're doing it out in the yard because there's just more space here. But once he doesn't move off the mat, then you can start doing it without the mat. And I'll just show you. He can do it a little bit now without the mat, but he's not quite there. So I'm going to say, okay, come on, walk him off the mat, have him sit, and then, okay, release him, do a little circle, and then off the mat, I'm going to say down, and see how it works off the mat too. So once he starts doing it on the mat perfectly, now you're ready to do it off the mat. The mat is a fast track to a downstay. You teach him how it goes with the mat, and then, then you can start practicing without the mat, and it probably takes months off your regular sit time frame if you weren't using the mat. The reason the mat works so quickly and they learn faster is because, go, down. See how easy it was? I didn't have to use my foot, because they only do one thing on this mat. They do one behavior and one behavior only, and so even before I send him to the mat, he's anticipating what he does every time, and even if I didn't say D-O-W-N, he'd probably go into a down, but you do say it as he's doing it, and it just jump starts that learning period where it goes a lot faster, and he understands what down means, and also the stay. The stay is where training starts. It's all about the stay. The stay is having to focus and pay attention to you until you release him and wait to be released. I'm going to reward him here. Good is what over time stabilizes him, helps him develop a tolerance to stress. Right now, he's better than he was, but still, he gets stressed out easy. So through mental focus, that's how we make the dogs less skittish, less scared, stabilize them. Every time we're doing this, we're building this calmness at his core that helps enable him to not be reactive and not be as triggerable as he used to be by stressful noises or stressful situations. So the way that you release him is you walk back next to him, you pat your leg and say, okay, you walk him off the mat and have him sit. It's the same way every time. It's very regimented, it's very clear. You do those same steps every time. He knows exactly how it's going to go, and he's waiting to be released. Go. Now he's free. Always pick up that mat, because he's going to want to hang out on this, and this is not a doggy bed. You'll destroy the power of the mat. If you practice on a doggy bed where sometimes he goes and sleeps or something like that, or you use the mat for a doggy bed, it's not going to be special anymore. And then you have him practicing being not focused on the mat, and you want him to be super focused when you're training. It's just confusing, and it would dilute the power of the mat. So the mat is only for that one thing. He waits to be allowed on. He waits to be allowed off. You do it exactly the way I showed you here. And if you just want to do it for 2 or 3 minutes a day, do it exactly like this, and keep trying to bump it up a notch. Do that walk around thing with the treats. But if you're inside, and which you will be, you can drop the leash and walk across the room, come back, reward. You can start trying new things. If he pops up, You say no, and you do that little reset, put him back. Maybe the next time you walk a little bit, not quite as far. You find out what he can handle and start there and reward, and start gradually moving farther and reward. Everything's done gradually, and it's very common sense. It's obviously, it's a great way to teach. Don't rush it, and if you don't rush it, you'll be done a lot quicker. He'll be a lot calmer over time if you just do a little bit at a time, and you have to be in the moment and pay attention to what he can handle, because if you do too much too soon and he keeps making mistakes, you'll just start practicing the mistakes, and he's not going to get better, he's going to get worse that way. So always pick up this mat, make sure that he can't go on here unless you have him on a leash and you allow him to go on. And you saw how I took him off the mat as well. Do it exactly that way every day you do it. Okay. We're walking Alfie up to a person. We're going to have him sit. We've been practicing this greeting routine every day with somebody else. There's a number of people here that he's gotten to know. He has done it with this person before, but this is how he gets when he gets to know somebody, through the greeting routine. So I said, sit, he sat, I stepped over, gave that person a treat. Now I'm going to send him over. He's on my left with my right hand. See how he's waiting, he's really waiting. He wants to go. He's like, is it now? And if you have a problem with him popping up or leaving first before you release him, just tap it. There's no real strength that's called for here. It's just about being careful, paying attention to what you're doing with the leash. It's almost effortless, so because there's never any controlling with the leash or tight leash. So he's waiting for me to see how the leash is loose. Go, send him over like that. He goes over, and then I say, come, takes the treat. I call him back to me. It creates a new impression in the dog about when it comes to sit meeting people and new people. One more time here. Just a little treat. You never have a new person approach. It'll scare the dog. It'll put most dogs on edge when somebody approaches. A lot of dogs that have issues like Alfie has, if they're shy or insecure. So you practice this routine, and then you get to plug in new people. Every time he meets a new person like this, he gets a little bit better, and you're always sending him to the people, and then come, calling him back to you. Good. If you see that he's about to jump or something, you can call him back to you. We have a dog over there barking because he wants to be in this video, but this isn't his video. Okay, he's next. Sit. So one more time, and I just would do this 3 times a day. I mean, I'd do it 1 time a day, but I'd send him over 3 times to a different person every day. And you never want to do too much, especially with a dog like Alfie, who is skittish, insecure. He needs to be built up over a long period of time, his confidence built up. Go say hi. Come, but look what you have. Good. What you have in this exercise, you have the sit stay, because he has to sit and wait while you go over there and come back. He has the release command. He has the come command. So it's a great way to practice your training in a real life context. And you're going to be using this to make him more and more comfortable with new people, but just do it exactly the way we're doing it. Follow those rules. You never have somebody approach. That'll make him scared, of course. You always ask them to wait. Give them something of high value, like we're just using dog treats here, but a piece of chicken breast, a piece of salmon. He loves that. Most dogs do. Cheese, something that's really special. And so he starts associating only with new people does he get that treat. Don't be giving him cheese and salmon for sitting or something he does all day long and he does easily with you. You save the high value rewards for the high stress situations to, over time, change his perception of what it means to meet a new person. So save those high value rewards for your situations that you have issues in.